microphone,
Make these
microphone,
haters into
microphone,
liars.
microphone, microphone. 1 check, 1 2. We doing what we do. Thursday night, with my crew. We in the building. Another episode. Excuse the delay, but we in the building. We ready.
We still here.
Another
We
conversation.
didn't go anywhere.
Get ready to tune in. Get ready to rock.
Yeah.
Get ready to vibe.
Don't stop.
Get ready to have a great conversation. We want you to call in tonight. Conversations with Whitney, Dwayne, and Trey. We are in the building
In the
tonight.
building.
Another episode on this Thursday night. Extremely grateful to still be here on the side of the land of the living. Grateful,
Amen.
thankful. Again, just grateful and thankful, man. Another episode, another conversation, another opportunity
Yeah, God.
to
Thank you.
minister,
Good
to
looking.
serve, to just be a blessing, man, and just enjoy this life on this side, man.
Thank you, God,
Yeah.
Thank you.
for another
Yeah.
day, another episode.
Life on this side. That's I don't know why I just feel led to say that, but life on this side, man. Life on this side. How you feeling, Whit?
Life on this side. That should be the topic of the show.
Hey.
Because a lot of us want to live, it seems as if we're living life on the other side. You know what I'm saying?
Life
The
on
hate.
this side.
The jealousy,
Yeah.
those going
Yeah.
through certain situations and then they are stuck in those situations. So that's not living. That's not living. That's actually walking dead.
That's all right.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
walking dead. A
walking
lot of us
dead.
are walking dead. You know what I'm saying? So this side is a great side to be on. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Me either. It's all right. All right.
No
it's
matter
not there no
what we are going through, there's somebody always going through something that's worse. So thank God for allowing us to be here another day.
Yeah, thank you, God.
you.
Thank you, God.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
man. Thank you, man. Another great
Yeah,
day,
good looking.
man. Today is June 13th. We are already halfway through 2019, about to approach 2020 in another 6 months. Time is going by so fast.
Middle of the year.
Time is going by so fast, man. And I guess as I'm looking at these two books that me and my sis Whit have been blessed to put together, the question that is on my mind, not that it's going to be a topic, but like, what have you created? What have you created? Have you created anything? Have you contributed anything? Have you made an impact or a difference with the life that you have and the life you have left? What have you done? What have you done that facilitated some level of inspiration, some level of hope, some level of healing, something that made somebody feel good about themselves or maybe even spiritually reconnected to God? What have you given? And that's what I'm sensing at this particular time as I look at these two books. And shout out to everybody who has done whatever it is that you believe that you've been gifted and blessed to do, to be a blessing to somebody, to make some kind of difference in the lives of those who God has called you to serve. So tonight we're going to have some great conversation.
Yeah, and it's a time to reflect, though. You know, think about all the new visions, the goals that you've written down for yourself in January 1st or maybe December 31st, 2018, that you're going to set for yourself for 2019. So it's time to reassess. If you haven't reassessed already, 6-month mark. It's time to
Right.
reassess and say, okay, like you said, let's reevaluate those things that we and reevaluate those visions, you know,
Yeah.
because there's some tweaking that needs to be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some conversations that need to be had, some circles that need to be reassessed, you know, some visions that need to be tweaked. So 6 months, this is your mark to reassess yourself and get yourself in alignment. If you fell off, it's never too late. Tomorrow is already past. I mean, not tomorrow, yesterday. Yesterday has already passed. It's done with. Today is today, and you have tomorrow.
Yeah. Well,
Keep
Yeah.
looking forward.
Keep looking forward, and let's drop right into it.
Let's get into
Don't
it.
drop out on you.
Let's
Here
get
we
into
go.
it. Come on, let's go.
You know, so you might feel as if you haven't accomplished anything this year that you set your mind to do, but we want to tell you, and we're here to tell you that don't drop out on you. You still have time because you're still breathing.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, you're still breathing. So thank you to everyone who has supported us thus far with our new book.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you. The book is available on Amazon, wherever books are sold, Barnes and Noble,
yes,
Ingram Books. You can get the books from us, DM us, email us, whatever you got to do. Please, our goal is to get this into all the youth and young adults in the world.
Yes. And parents.
Because, like we said, it's a conversational starter.
Yeah.
Parents, if you can't talk about those certain topics, those touchy topics like sex and relationships, things of that nature, this is the book for you. It'll help you start that conversation because our kids need to know the things that we have been through so they can say, you know what, I understand why my mom's telling me I should be in at this time or telling me I shouldn't talk to this person. They'll understand it. Yeah. They'll get it. Yeah. You know, they'll get it versus them saying, you know, my mom's just telling me because she doesn't know what it's been like. She grew up in a different age, different realm, you know, whatever the case is. They'll understand it better when you tell them about your story. Our kids need to know our stories. It's a healing. It heals you, but it helps them not fall into those same patterns. Those same patterns. So please don't drop out on you.
We need your help,
man. We need your help.
We need your support, man. Shout out to everybody who has purchased their book.
Yeah,
we're extremely grateful for everybody who has purchased the book online or purchased it directly from us. We definitely are extremely grateful for that support. But we need more support. We need more help to get this book into the hands of every child, every young adult, every parent, to help them fight back. What we title and call this book is the Fight Back Manual. It's the Fight Back Guide. It's a conversation starter. So if there's some challenges that you are dealing with as a parent or even as a child, or your child is dealing with some of these challenges, we want to encourage you to get your hands on this book. We guarantee that there is some material inside of this book that will be able to help facilitate conversation, maybe even guide, give yourself or a child something that they can connect with, especially in a time where there's so much content that's going out that is so overwhelming and it's so consuming that you kind of lose yourself. You kind of forget about who you are, what you're supposed to be doing, because everybody else's content, scenarios, circumstances, pain, tragedy, trauma has you more aware of everybody else than your own self. So what we're doing with Don't Drop Out on You is reminding you to bring the focus back to yourself, especially, most importantly, rather, God, because that's what we believe in. That's what we believe in. We understand is your strength, your help. You know, we can't do this life without God. Forgive us for trying, and hopefully you don't even think that you're going to be able to make it without him. But this book is definitely our attempt to help you reconnect spiritually, but then also give you something to grab hold of that is tangible, that you can really comprehend. You can really get something from this book, not just because it's us, but something that we believe God gave us and allowed us to give you through the experiences that we had. So Don't Drop Out on You is available now.
And
Barnes and
also,
Noble. Yes.
We still have Me No Authentic You out, our first book.
Yes.
You can also get that as well.
The inspiration for the podcast. We started this podcast because of Me No Authentic You. So many people were asking for us to have a space and a place for them to come to be able to have conversation with us about the book. And now you have a space and a place that you can come to for Don't Drop Out on You. So please make it your business to purchase the copy. Please support our vision. We want the book inside of. We started with 10,000 kids, but now we want to go further than that. We want every child and every parent around the world. Yes, we're dreaming and we're believing big. Very big, enormous,
huge. You know why? Because our God is big.
Yes, that's what we're believing for. So please support us. We need your help and we need your support. We understand that we all are dealing with crises and challenges, but we would definitely appreciate if you take just $15 out of your budget and just say, you know what, I want to get a book
and give this
to someone else. Even if you don't think you need it, but somebody that you do know, you know for a fact they need it. So please, we will appreciate your support if you decide to just give us some support with this book and help us meet this vision, help us meet this goal. That is our goal. What else
parents, uncles, aunties.
Yes, give it to them.
If you're breathing, how about that?
Give it to them, Trey. Yeah, let them know.
Breathing.
Yeah,
that's right.
So, so that's what's up. And let them know about Breaking Bread with D. Graham.
Oh, Breaking Bread brunch right now was 10 days away. Today is June 13th.
Wow.
We got 10 days away. That is
the
the very first brunch that I will be doing. And it is a different brunch. It is an authentic brunch. It is an unorthodox, non-traditional brunch. It is something that I believe that nobody's doing. People are doing various different things, but I believe that this is something that God has given to me where I will be preaching and teaching, providing food and what we call wines and spirits, light beverages, light things that could get you just in a certain kind of space, but you will be feeling the power of God, the love of God, the Holy Spirit. Yes, I'm saying it for my religious, traditional people who think that just don't go together. And what I want to say to some of those people that are there, the very first miracle that Jesus did was he turned water into wine. So even back in the days, whether you believe in the story or not, but it's in the text, read your Bible, he turned water into wine. So Jesus himself was brunching, sipping some wine. So we want to encourage you to make sure that you get in that brunch, because I got a word. God done gave me a word for the people. I know you used to go in the service and you think you need to go to church and then go to brunch. Well, I'm giving you church and brunch at the same time. So shout out to everybody who has purchased their ticket, who will be in the building. Your ticket is covering your food and your drink and this word. So please make sure you get your tickets. You can go to Eventbrite. My information is in the bio on my Instagram pages. I put the bio information up on my Facebook page. Please make sure you are in the building. I am looking for a small crowd. I'm not looking for the crowd. I'm looking for 35 people. That is my number. I realize when I look at Jesus, he started with 12. He asked for 12. I'm coming for 35. If I get 15, I'm still thankful and grateful, because the vision is still out of my head and it's on the ground. So I'm asking for 35 people to be in attendance. I want to have a great, powerful preaching, teaching, conversation. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to lay hands on you. You're going to pray for me. We're going to take some pictures. We're going to be having a good time. We're going to dance. We're going to have a wonderful time in God together. You ain't dealing with this in your church. I'm telling you right now. No disrespect to the church. I love the church, but you're not going to get the church. You're not going to get this at your church. I promise you that right now. You might even leave your church once you finish with me. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I'm saying it.
I love my church. I love the church. I'm saying it
right now. I love it too.
I love the church, you know.
But I'm going to say it right now. You just may leave. And if you don't even go to church, I got the church brunch for you to come to.
It's gonna be dope.
Yeah,
it's gonna be dope.
You're gonna be blessed.
I love my church.
Yeah,
I love my church.
And let me say this real quick. This is very, very.
Let's not get it twisted.
This is very, very radical. This is very, very radical. It's very, very challenging. It's very, very problematic, because there's a system that's been in place. Yes, there's a system that has been in place for so long that something like this is very, very offensive to some people. It right? will, yeah. And I thank God for giving me the anointing, right? The ability to be rooted in God, that I can withstand the people who have a problem with a vision like this, because there's a space, and then we're living in a time now where people need something other than what has been we've been conditioned into.
My whole thing is, look, if God has given you a vision, and you prayed about it,
go for it.
You just go for it.
That's what I'm doing.
You can't worry about the naysayers. You can't worry about what people are going to say.
You know, I'm not.
Because whatever you do, even if it's traditional, people are going to have something to say about it, right? And like I said, I do love the church. I grew up in the church. I love the church. I'm in the church now. I represent the church, and the church, it's freedom, you know, to me. At the same time, is that, you know, we have to reach people where God is taking us. Absolutely. And we have to do the work outside the four walls of the church as well. So come to the brunch. It's going to be phenomenal.
Yes, it is.
It's going to be definitely different. Dwayne definitely has a word. If you hear him on the videos in the morning, you hear him on the videos in the morning, and on the conversations with Whitney and Dwayne and Treasure. So get your ticket. Eventbrite, June 23rd. Sunday
in Harlem, New York. That's where it's going down. In Harlem, its physical address. I'm sorry, Dre.
I believe that, you know, through you doing this, through God giving you this vision, that you're going to reach some people that probably wouldn't step.
It's a lot of people that's not going to step in the church that will definitely come to the brunch. So
it's so funny y'all say that,
because that's just what it is.
I got a phone call real briefly today from a gentleman who that's just not what he's into. He just don't. But he said, "I got to get there. I got to get there." I've had a lot of men and women who have said to me, I don't mess with church, but if you ever decide to open up one, I will be there.
Wow.
Right. So I thank God for those individuals who actually.
God didn't give you that vision for.
That's true. But also, I want us to be clear that we're not bashing the church.
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay, so I just want people to get that.
I like that.
Get that in their head. We're not bashing the church. Like I said, I love the church, and think about my ancestors who came through.
I like
Absolutely.
The church, and the church was there to help the community. The church was there to pray for people. The church has been there. So we're not bashing the church. Only thing what we're saying is that there's another avenue that's being used to reach the people outside the four walls of the church who are scared to come into the church because they might feel as if that they're going to get, they feel as the church, they're not welcoming enough, or they can't relate to the people who are in the church, whatever the case is. So that's the thing. So I don't want to get it twisted for those who are I don't church goers, right? Because I'm a church goer. Right?
I'm a church goer too.
So we don't want to get it twisted. God gives you the vision. You pray about it. God gives you the vision. You go forth and do what He's calling you to do. It says go.
Yeah.
Go, and that's it. June 23rd, get your tickets. Eventbrite.
Yeah.
On Eventbrite, Breaking Bread with D. Graham.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now,
tell them about that Go Get
It.
That
Go Get It 2019. 4th annual Go Get It Women's Empowerment Conference. Yes, the vision that God has given me.
Yeah, sold out last year.
And also my partners, my co-founder LaShawn. Shout out to LaShawn James up in Atlanta. Shout out to Miss Chu, DJ extraordinaire. Also Bowden Boss got her boutique, all that popping. Thank you so much for being partners with me. Partners together with this vision. Go Get It 2019, November 16th this year at the Watson Hotel. You want to be in the building. It was sold out last year. This year is going to be phenomenal. We have transformational speakers. The vendors are popping. It's going to be off the chain. The theme is breakthrough. Breakthrough. Sometimes God has to break you so you can break through, right? And sometimes we have to open up doors that doors won't open for us. We got to create those doors, right? So we're going to break through this year, 2019. Come through November 16th. Vendors, get your spots. Because I'm not going to have enough room like I didn't have last year for vendors, but we have more room this year.
Yeah.
But I already have vendors locked. So if you're interested in being a part of this transformational event, we're honoring 6 phenomenal people. But my power speakers, my transformational speakers are coming through with the fire. Okay?
Can't wait.
Want to see you there.
Can't wait.
All right.
Can't
so
wait.
November 16th, 4th annual Go Get It conference. And I just have to say, because next year we're going to be in Atlanta and New York. This joint is going from city to city.
I'm excited.
Next year we're going to have 2 conferences, one in Atlanta and one in New York.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Shout out to LaShawn. Shout out to Miss Chu.
Yeah.
DJ Miss Chu. Shout out to the co-laborers, the co-servant leaders with this vision that God has given to you, and everybody else who has helped make this thing become what it's becoming. Last year was an amazing experience, and I'm pretty sure that this year will definitely be another powerful, amazing experience. Go get it. Yeah. The theme, once again, is breakthrough. We want you to break through, whatever that looks like for you. We need you to break through. And most importantly, we need you not to drop out on you so you can break through. So there's a relationship between the two, man. So that's what's going on right now, man. Shout out to all of my Vibe With Me people who get up with me every morning, who tune in, who share the videos. Shout out to everybody who continues to just have a great vibe, a great aura, a great energy. Because, again, times are very, very challenging lately, man. A lot of people have these interesting spirits that's going on right now, and people just really are just kind of dropping out. So everybody who vibes and rocks with this energy early in the morning, where we going before God, we fighting our best to stay positive, we doing our best to combat demons that we dealing with, killing our own demons, man, and just trying to ascend and rise into better versions of ourselves. I just want to just say, man, shout out to the army of us who get up and do our best to make sure that our energy is great and positive and just nurturing and just loving. Even though we flawed, even though we coming from brokenness, even though we making mistakes, even though we learning how to get better and adapt to new circumstances and situations and create and build and all of this stuff that we all are, some of us are dealing with on a day-to-day basis, man. I just want to just say shout out to everybody who's been rocking with me each and every morning when I get up and do what it is that I believe that God has called me to do. So shout out to my Vibe With Me army. That's the Vibe With Me situation. That's the Go Get It situation. We got the brunch situation going on. What else? shout out to everybody who calls into our prayer calls every Monday morning, our Monday morning glory. Shout out to everybody who calls in at 7 in the morning, 7 a.m.
Every Monday.
We've been getting up for 5 to 6 years, making sure that we are going before God to start our week off with a great aura, a great energy, to make sure that we are tuned in and tapped in, making sure that we don't tap out, because it is so difficult for many people on that Monday morning experience, because the weekend sometimes feels so good and Monday just feels so bad, especially if you're going somewhere that you don't want to go, going to a job you can't stand, and you feel God taking too long to show up, so you ain't got to go to that job you don't want to go to on that Monday. We thank you for calling in every Monday morning at 7 a.m.
And if you want to get our call-in information for our prayer call and everything that we have going on, definitely hit us up on Instagram. I am Whitney D. Smith on Instagram. Also, my Facebook page, Whitney Smith, and then Dwayne. Let them know.
The D Graham, _D Graham _ movie. That is my Instagram name. The D Graham, GRAHAM.
So I had a question for y'all. So God hasn't laid it on your hearts to do another long series?
No.
No. Okay.
Well, actually, I've been thinking about it towards the end of the year, though. God already
he been speaking to Whit about it. He ain't telling me nothing about it.
So,
but that's dope.
I'll probably go into the new year.
Yeah, that's dope.
Praying.
I guess because I get up every day.
Let out.
He ain't telling me that.
Letting out 2019, going into the 2020.
That's dope, man.
So God has been speaking to me about that.
I guess I gotta wait for Whit to bring that to me. She ain't tell me none of that right there.
But tune in for that.
But okay,
but Trey, you let them know what you got going on.
Yeah,
we had a lot of announcements for like about 15 minutes.
Let's give it to him. Let's give it to him.
So let's get in so we can really get into the meat of the show. Go ahead, Trey Panache.
Trey Panache collection.
Right,
it's a premium virgin hair collection, ranging from 10 to 32 inches.
Yeah, Trey Panache.
Trey Panache is a flamboyant sense of style. And you can reach me, you can follow me on Trey Panache, Trey_Panache_ collection on Instagram, or you can order some hair at TreyPanache.com.
Great.
Trey Panache. Can you spell that out for the people?
TREPANACHE.
There we go.
Cool.
There we go.
So this is our spirit check segment we're getting into. So let's check our spirits. This is where we check our spiritual climate to see where we are.
Yeah.
See how how we're dealing with what's going on.
Yeah, let's get into
in our personal space. Let's do this, Trey. So let's start with you. So you and Trey, how's your spirit this evening?
My spirit is content.
Love
My
it.
spirit is content because I'm content where God has me right now. God is growing me. God is teaching me right now. He is also stretching me right now.
Yeah.
So I'm really content where I am right now.
Oh, that's great.
My spirit is feeling love. I'm feeling love. And I'm feeling love because
that's good, man.
Yeah, my spirit's feeling love. And I have to say is that I'm just happy about the people who I'm connected to, those who God has around me in my universe, in my space, and the people that are connected to me is they're doing something. They have vision. You know, they're nice. They're trying to get better and become better versions of themselves. So when they're in that space, it helps me. It just helps me. Want to strive to get to that place, and when they're in that space, when you're in that space of bettering yourself and wanting to be better and just just good inside out, you spread love, and people around in my life is giving me a lot of love.
That's awesome.
So I just feel I'm in a space of love. I'm loving life. I'm loving the fact that I'm waking up in the morning. I'm feeling great, and I'm in Stephanie Mills, right? When I went to see her, went to see her perform this weekend, and that song "Learn to Respect the Power of Love." And I love that song, but I really didn't listen to the words until that Sunday. And then I said, wow, a lot of us don't respect love.
Wow.
We don't, because we don't even know how to handle it. We don't know how to give it. We don't know how to receive it. We don't know how to, but love conquers all, right?
Yeah, it does.
So when you're in a space of love and learning to respect the power of love and what love can do. Oh, wait. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry. My car didn't start the other day, right? And the thing is that I prayed, right? I prayed, and then a man and his wife showed up, right? And they said, "You need help?" I said, "Yeah, I need help." They got out the car, right? He got out the car and tried to push my car. Then he said, "You know what? Let's jump it." So he jumped my car, and it started. I was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." I was crying and frantic. I said, "What's your name? Can I give you your address? Give me your address or whatever." He said, "No, just pay it forward," right? And that's some type of love. You know what I mean? So just. If we just love conquers all, just being nice, it's just good for the soul. Good, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel love because I'm really learning how to respect what love really is.
That's deep.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's where I am, and that's where I think I'm going to be even next week and the following week because I'm looking at love in a different way.
Wow. I love it.
Wow.
So there you go.
Wow.
I'm sorry to get into a lot.
No, that was great. I think that's a great segue to go into tonight's conversation. And just to piggyback on in terms of our spirit check segment, I'm embodying love. Right? I'm embodying love. And I'm embodying a renewed, redefined understanding of what love is. Because I was once the person who didn't know how to let love me, along with having an understanding of an unhealthy love, which is the reason why nothing lasted long. Right? It didn't grow me. It didn't glow me. Right? So I'm embodying what that love is now, and it feels great. It feels not that love is not reducing love to a feeling, but love is actually transforming me into a version of myself that I've never been before, and I'm protecting that love now. I'm guarding it, right? Wow. I'm not just letting anything invade and consume and tempt me to engage in things that are not loving, even though sometimes the temptation has loving language. Right, but it's not a loving attributes. It's not loving characteristics. It's not a loving vibe and spirit and energy that glows me and transforms me. So I'm just grateful to be in that space.
No.
And we can get into the topic of conversation tonight, even though we don't necessarily have a topic.
I think we could talk about on the lines of that.
Yeah, but here's where I'm going.
We do have a topic, y'all. Y'all just don't know it yet.
Okay. Well. Okay, I'll leave that there, right? Because normally we start with, this is what we're going to cover, but it's kind of like a segue going into it, right? Where, for myself, it's liberating to finally evolve into a space where, what's healthy for you.
You know what's healthy for you.
You know
why? Because you know why? You know what's healthy for you is because you starting to know what love is for yourself and loving yourself. The definition of love for you.
You just took the words out of my mouth.
You know what I'm saying?
Loving yourself.
So that's and everybody was so cliche because we always say self-love. Right. But for real, it's like once you define the definition of love, right, and what love looks like to you, it means to you, and how love manifests through you. But then you really, and you in turn, instead of giving that first to somebody else, you give that gift to you. Right? Yes. Then you're able to, now I know how to take care of it and protect it and receive it. Now I'm gonna really know how to give it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the part of that's liberating as well.
Yeah, because we always talk about how, you need to love yourself first.
We always say that.
But loving yourself requires some real self-care. You know what I mean? Self-care, knowing what makes you feel good and what doesn't make you feel good.
And what's going to transform you or what's going to keep you in a place of being stagnant or the same or not growing. Because that's not love. Love doesn't keep you in a place where you don't grow or transform. You know what I'm saying? That's not love to me. I don't know what love to anybody else is.
And I think that's good, right there what you just said, because I think that we have to understand that we all define it differently.
We do.
Because we experience it differently. It's we don't all have the same experience with this word. A lot of people have used that word, ourselves, at one point, if not now as well, differently. How we
loosely
and differently, right? And as we evolve and grow, for those of us who don't mind being held accountable, right, with love, right, and being checked and chastised, not chastised like you a child, but chastised in a sense where you being told about certain areas of about yourself, rather, that stops you or limits you or creates tension and distance with the people that you do care for, right, the people that you do love, right. So I love what you just said, because it helps us first identify, if we could categorize and prioritize, how we define love. That we don't define it the same because we experience it differently. You
know what? And I don't know if you guys heard of the 5 love languages, right?
Yeah.
And I think, and just to take that as an example, to put some context or whatever with it too, is that, everybody has a different love language, right? So that's why love looks different for each individual. That's why it's important. So I'm just saying that to say that love looks differently or feels differently or sounds differently to each and everybody else.
Yeah.
First, we have to determine what that looks like for us. And then at the same time, we need to, so if everybody does that, then we're able to communicate what love is to us and be able to love each other the way that person wants to be loved instead of the way we want to be loved.
So for an example, to that point, right? Because people learn differently, right? So for me, right, years ago, arguing, going back and forth, I would think that, if you wasn't arguing with me, that you don't care, right? We're growing, evolving, and transforming and healing out of that understanding and that depiction of love. Now, the example is love. The love language that I'm not going to listen to is love language that argues. I'm going to listen to the love language that affirms me, not argues with me.
You know what? Because you may have, and I don't know, and you can say it, during that moment of the arguing, right, where you thought that was probably, or the other person thought that was a form of love, but then you get to a point where you're like, this is not really doing anything for me. I don't see any positivity coming out of this arguing. I'm just, the negativity is feeding off of it, or something is not connecting. And you maybe came to a realization like, you know what, this might not be what
loving after all.
Loving is after all, because I'm staying the same, or it's not transforming me, or I'm not growing. I still feel the same way after arguing, like nothing has manifested that was anything that was positive.
In addition to that, right, because of the new space that I've grown into, right, is the love that I'm asking for and I want to share is not just a love that I'm always looking to see what I'm getting or what I'm not getting. Sometimes that arguing space is a love language that I once subscribed to that didn't allow me to give you anything. So I can't love you in the manner that I want to love you in the arguing context, because I can't give you what it is that you need or that I want to give to you, because there's a disconnect, because arguing is creating this confusion, this tension. So it's not allowing me not to get, well, you're not making me feel like this. No, it's not always about me. Where for me now, love is also about me being able to serve you, being able to reassure you, again, affirm you. I want to affirm that this is a healthy love. It's a love that's growing us, that's healing us, that's transforming us. So today, using love language in that book and using it as our context or our reference to be able to engage healthy dialogue about love, for me today, using an example, again, it's not arguing. I get that some people feel like an argument is good and it's healthy, but for me, I don't feel like it is. If we constantly going back and forth to prove each other to be wrong or I'm right, and I feel like those situations there, they don't affirm. They don't make a person feel like they are
being heard.
Most importantly, not even love. Most importantly, heard, because we walk away from the conversation / argument feeling misunderstood.
And the thing is that, that's why we said love looks different, because if I feel like you, even in that discussion or argument, if I feel like you understand me, if I feel like if you understand me from this conversation, then I might feel like that you love me, because you're coming away from some type of understanding about me or something different. So when we say arguing, I guess the arguing with the negative context is that if you're going back and forth and nothing's being done, and then you're hitting below the belt.
There you go.
You're hitting below the belt. You're hurting each other throughout that argument, and it's nasty, and it's all that stuff. So that unhealthy dialogue, I would call arguing.
Go ahead, Trey.
Right, but that's and that's not loving. So it really boils down to your level of communication.
Mm-hmm.
Is it coming from a loving place of really stopping and hearing each other?
Yeah.
Or is it just you getting at each other and, like you said, hitting below the belt?
Mm-hmm. And I think that comes from, too, when, it's unresolved issues. You know what I'm saying? When we hit below the belt.
Now we getting something.
You know what I'm saying? It's unresolved issues, either with inside self or with inside the relationship that was never communicated.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I had issues with you, but I never told you those issues. So during that arguing, I'm going to hit below the belt to tackle those issues that I never told you about, which is unfair and unhealthy. You understand what I'm saying?
And unhealthy and unfair for the person who wants to experience, share, receive love. Because you can use love language, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you're ready to be loved. So the arguing, the attacking, the fault finding, the unresolved issues, a lot of that stuff is a brokenness. In love, the healthy understanding or the healthy definition of what that is and how that can be experienced for those who are ready for it is those individuals who are willing to take accountability. Those are individuals who are willing to be told and held accountable for the areas of themselves that they sometimes don't want to hear. It's uncomfortable. It's painful. And you got to deal with those things. The truth of the matter is, whether it's friendship, relationship, or family, sometimes we have used, I know I've used it, I've used the love language to hide in somebody else because I didn't want to deal with the unresolved issues that created this version of myself that wasn't good, that wasn't healthy, that wasn't fruitful, that wasn't prosperous, that was not growing. And a lot of people are in that space today.
I'm sorry.
No, go.
I want to say a comment from Lat George. That's his Facebook name. He said, love is an energy, a frequency, which I believe. Love is definitely an energy. Love is the understanding. So love is understanding. And if it escalates, it gets toxic. So I guess what I'm going to try to decipher what you mean by escalating. He said, I said love. Okay, it escalates. It gets toxic.
So I guess when the argument gets ugly,
we were talking about arguing.
There you go. That's
when
probably
it gets to another level, when we talking about hit below the belt and all that stuff.
Yeah.
If this is something that's reoccurring, then the relationship is toxic. But then also you become toxic.
The fact
if you're not toxic, then if you are toxic, then the relationship becomes toxic.
But
I'm sorry, we're just not talking about just love relationships. So we're talking about any type of relationship,
any kind of relationship,
friendships, family, whatever the case
business
is.
relationship.
But
business,
if it continues to happen, for me, that's an indication that you don't even realize how toxic you are. You don't even realize that something is off. You haven't probably made the connection. So it's not always that you don't want to change, you want to grow. Maybe you just don't realize that something is wrong.
Or you think too,
or something is off,
wrong, or something's off. But a lot of us want to blame the other person too, and say, okay, maybe it's that person, but it could be us too. So we have to take accountability. Look in the mirror and say, you know what have I contributed to this situation to make it toxic? Was it my stuff, my mess, my unresolved issues that I had that contribute to making that relationship toxic? We all have stuff, and then the thing is about it, if we're whatever relationship we're in, we have to understand that we both have situations, we both have issues, we both have stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of us, expect, or a lot of us expect for us to maybe not have, not the baggage, but to have the stuff that is unresolved. But whatever my insecurities are, whatever my unhealed issues are, if you can love me through there's a way to love me through that or understand me through that, so you can love me through it. because we can heal together. I don't feel as if, like, you know, if I'm gonna have broken pieces that haven't been healed in my life, that if I'm with somebody or friends with somebody, whatever, that they can't help me heal through it. We can help each other. We can help us go through the process of healing together. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as we're on the same page and in alignment with trying to get to that destination of it being healed.
And I think that what you just captured, which was beautiful, is that there has to be vision. There has to be vision for both parties, individually and collectively. There can't be one person with a vision and the other person is consumed with the brokenness and the issues, the unresolved stuff, the flaws. You know, it won't work because somebody's going to eventually say, yo, this is too much, because they're more committed to the vision than they're committed to the relationship. So, but if both parties are in alignment and they both are working towards the vision that can help them enjoy the time that they're fortunate enough to share with one another, then they become willing to work through. They become willing to work through the challenges of each other's brokenness. There's another element that we also have to insert into the conversation, and that's like siblings, right? Siblings. If you if you're not an only child, right? Let's say you're the oldest, or you're the youngest, or you're the middle, whichever one you are, right? Each one has some kind of role. Most times, the oldest one, they have a responsibility to look after. The youngest one or the middle one has to look after whoever's underneath. The youngest one sometimes tends to get the ridiculed the most. They get the most kind of harshest treatment. So they tend to look for validation, affirmation, and acceptance and approval. They want to feel like they're doing right by who they have to answer to. The oldest one has to be making sure that they're taken care of. They're nurturing. So the older one sometimes struggles with being told about themselves because they're being conditioned to always look after the person that they got to take after, who they have to take, responsibility for, because 9 times out of 10 they get in trouble if they drop the ball on who they have to look out for. So it's hard for them to accept ridicule themselves, even though they're great at dishing it out, even though they're great at saying, you're wrong, you need to fix this, you need to do this, you need to do that. So we bring that element also into the relationship context, because if I grew up always being the older sibling or the younger one, where I'm always telling you what to do or I'm always being told what to do, and I bring that into a relationship with somebody else, that's another dynamic that you got to work through, because your mate may be an older brother or older sister, and you may be the younger brother or the younger sister,
or even the middle child sometimes feels lost.
Big time.
Feels lost
that's
because
great.
they're right in the middle, in between. You know what I'm saying?
That's great.
They are trying to
find their way. You don't know. You're confused. You don't even know what to do.
Right.
So I think that from an understanding perspective, I'm sorry, Whitney. From an understanding perspective, I think that if we consider these other realities that we all come from, it helps us be understanding to know what language we need to communicate with, and what communication, what love language we will be receptive and open to.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Many people do not. We don't factor that stuff in when we start talking about relationships, whether it's significant others, family, or even business. And I think that this is a healthy conversation to have, because people will. I said this the other day. People will curse out the wrong people and push the right people away because they don't want to deal with their stuff. They will curse out the wrong people and push the right people away because they don't want to deal with their stuff. And then they will welcome in the wrong people because they get an opportunity to hide in the wrong people and wonder why it didn't work out.
But because you know what? It's easier to stay the same.
Oh, there it is.
Change is
That's
hard.
the money. That's the money right there.
Change is hard.
Yeah.
Change takes work.
But when there's vision, when there's vision, you become open and willing.
When there's vision, you become acceptable to love. You know what I'm saying? Acceptable to, or you want to receive the things that make you feel good, the things that make you grow, the things that make you transform. And I think the meaning for me with love, that's the thing, transform, healed. So if I'll be able to be in a space to be able to receive that. You know what I mean? Listen, y'all call in 914. We didn't give you a number earlier. 914-968-6499, 718-705-4959. That's 914-968-6499. 668-6499, 718-705-4959. And when I think about that Stephanie Mills song, learn to respect the power of love. And a lot of us, we take advantage of the love. That's why we allow those people to come in, right? We'll push the people that love us away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because we don't want to change. We don't want to transform. I don't want to have to do this. This is too much work. And that's the people who love you. They're forcing you to look at yourself differently. They're forcing you to look at your situation differently. You know what I'm saying? And we want to shy away from that. And then in turn, that's when those people come in. That don't mean us any good. We open up our space, our spirit, our soul, our bodies to the people who do not mean us any good. So if we learn how to really respect love, then we're going to understand that love is going to, if it's going to hurt, love doesn't hurt, but love might feel like it hurts because we're transforming into something that we're not used to being. But you know what I'm saying?
But also when we allow those people into our lives that aren't respecting us, aren't loving us, aren't just respecting who we are, we're not loving ourselves because we allowing that.
And you know what? You got to respect who you are. You know what I'm saying? Respect who you are first for anybody to respect you. You know what I'm saying? You have to be authentic in who you are and not lower your standards.
That's right.
Have some boundaries and things of that nature, because that's also loving yourself. Because I'm not going to accept anything that's not going to make me grow. I'm not going to accept anything that's less than God's best. I'm not going to accept anything that's not going to challenge me to be different. In a good way. You know what I'm saying? That's all I feel like it's under the umbrella of love.
Can I give a little brief sample of Breaking Bread with D Graham real quick?
You want to give
just a quick little sample, right?
Yeah,
we talking about love, right? So real quickly, right? There's the story of the prodigal son, right? The prodigal son asks the father for his inheritance. The father gives him his inheritance. The son goes out and he blows it. But he got another son. And the other son, the older brother, he never left home. He stayed there. So when the younger brother comes to the realization, you know what, I'm bugging, I'm wilding, I'm tripping. You know what, I need to go back home. When he comes to himself is what the story says. The father loves him enough to celebrate him, even though he made the mistake of blowing his inheritance and leaving home. But here's the interesting part about the story from an interpretive place. The interesting part about this story is that the brother becomes envious that the father celebrates the young brother coming to the realization he was bugging. So look at the different depictions of love. He wasn't even happy that his brother returned home, but the father loved his son enough to celebrate him even though he was wrong. So here's two different depictions of love. Somebody who's saying, what about me? And then the father is saying, you know what? I'm still going to celebrate my son because he came to his senses. Here's how we can be able to capture an imagery of what love, healthy and unhealthy, looks like. One person makes it about him, and the other person celebrates the person who comes to the realization that he was wrong, that he was bugging. His mind was all over the place, but he decided to come back home. So when you start talking about who you love and what you love and how you want to be loved, love on the person who comes to the realization that I'm bugging out. I'm tripping. And I need to go back to where I know love is.
That's good.
That's how you are able to discern what kind of love you want to let into your life. Because the story of the prodigal son is a classic example of what love looks like and how to celebrate somebody who wants to love on you. The father wanted to love on the son. The brother was envious. He made it about him. I've been over here. I didn't leave. It's not about you. Why are you not celebrating the fact that your brother is back home? It's like he didn't even care that his brother was missing. He didn't even care that his brother was out doing what he was doing. He was so concerned about probably his brother being out and condemning him for the wrong that he did that he couldn't celebrate his brother being back home. Wow. That's how we start to measure, how we start to deal with people in this conversation of love. Love celebrates you. Love doesn't condemn you. Love supports you. Love says, you know what? Yeah, you made a mistake. Yeah, you wilded out. But the fact that you came to your senses and you want to humble yourself and you come back and get right, I'm going to love on you. That's the kind of love that we're trying to help us understand.
That's so good. Love allows you to come back home.
Wow.
Breaking bread brunch, man. I'm telling you, man. I got a word, man. God done gave me some stuff, man. But I'm telling you, this is what we are discussing on tonight's topic of conversation in terms of love, man.
Yeah.
We've been not using the wrong word, but we've been understanding it and defining it from experiences that are not rooted in love. It's rooted in rules. It's rooted in conditions. It's
unhealthy situations. That's where our love that we feel as if, our definition of love. Unhealthy situations, unhealthy people, and unhealthy investments that we've been putting in to people, to situations that keep us the same, keeps us stagnant, keeps us not growing. So I want y'all to think about tonight. What is the meaning of love to you? What does love look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? What is that meaning to you? What does love look like after our conversation? You know what I'm saying?
And what does loving yourself look like?
Yeah, I mean,
What does self-care look like?
Yeah.
You know, that's something to really think about.
Or have you given up on love? That you just so angry with everybody else because they not loving on you.
You know what? Yeah, that's good. And and the thing is, if you're upset at everybody not doing something, don't worry about somebody else. Take care of you. You know what I'm saying? Love on you.
You gotta be willing. You gotta
be willing to put that work in.
You gotta put that work in.
Yo, we're dead longer than we alive, man.
You gotta believe that you are worth more.
Make that choice, make that decision.
You gotta believe that you are worth more. We all have to believe that you are worth more. That you are deserving of that level of love. And my definition, right? If I could be transparent, but as we come to a close,
you gonna give Treasure? We got 10 minutes. We gonna give Treasure for the good news segment.
News. Oh, y'all forgot about my good news, right?
I forgot all about
we gonna walk into that good news because love is good news, right?
Okay, so I'm not even gonna say nothing.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
We got 10 minutes. We got 9 minutes left. Treasure ain't got 9 minutes worth of material. Do you, Trey?
9 minutes? Nah.
I don't think so.
9 minutes.
But we can end the show with that good news segment.
Okay, so all I was gonna say was, for me at this point in my unhealthy experiences with love, and my being a victim and a victimizer with my love, or the word love, I have evolved to a point where love has to transform me into a better version of myself. If the love is not transforming me and transforming who I'm loving, then that's not a love that I even should stand up for. That's not even a love that I should even be uttering, articulating out of my mouth. So for me, it's not how we've been conditioned, and not that it's not important, right? But it's not about how you're making me feel. It's who am I becoming? Who am I becoming with this love? And if I'm becoming bitter, resentful, unhappy, miserable, always arguing, always defensive, always just up all night, just going through all of these unhealthy emotions, then that kind of love is not the love that I need to even subscribe to, surrender to, serve. I shouldn't. That's not, for me, that's not love.
Can I say my definition of love?
Sure.
And I'll give you the short version because I do have a long version. But my definition of love is somebody who could accept me for who Whitney is. That doesn't put me in a box. Okay, that accepts my insecurities. That's able to love me through my insecurities. That's able to love all pieces of me, all facets of me, the good, the bad, the ugly, as well as transforming, as well as getting to it and having and wanting to have vision with me and speak life into me.
That's good.
And tell me the truth when I don't even want to hear the truth. And that's my definition of love, to accept all of me, not just I want all pieces of me, and to be able to understand who Whitney is. And even if they don't understand who Whitney is willing and wants to learn who Whitney is. But good. In the same turn, give that back to that person.
That's good.
That's
love.
powerful.
Love. Learn to respect. The power of love is so powerful.
What about you, Trey?
What about you, Trey? What's your definition of love?
I don't think we ever looked at that song that way, right?
I did it until Sunday. I said, Dad, learn to respect the power of love. A lot of us don't respect love, because we treat each other like garbage.
Yeah, that's true.
Treat other people like garbage.
I think that, again, it's not our fault.
It's not.
And not to let anybody off the hook, because you do want to hold people accountable, but I really believe that it's a lack of vision, right? There's scripture that says that the people perish when there's no vision. So when you have no vision, you don't value the people that you have. And then you value them when they're gone.
You don't value yourself, though. You know, if you don't have a lack of vision, too.
Most importantly, but you value everybody when they're gone. You value them when it's too late, because whatever the reasons are. But for me, I believe that we can learn how to start valuing who we have and who we have left after who we've lost, when we understand that there's vision for the connection. There's vision for why we was connected. So be more consumed with doing the work of the vision, and then learning how to enjoy the person in spite of their flaws, or the people in spite of their flaws. That way, when separation happens, however it does happen, you don't separate bitter. You don't separate angry. You don't separate resentful. You can separate and say, dag, I wish I still had them, but I'm still going to go forward with this vision that I know that I'm still responsible to carry out. But if you don't got no vision, then you separated, you angry, you bitter, and now you think about killing them, killing yourself, killing whoever they left you for. If that's the scenario, you start going all over the place mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and that only makes matters worse than what you already are.
Yo, love yourself, love your imperfection and all your flaws first. When you could do that, then I'm pretty sure you can start loving people with their imperfections and flaws. Trey, what's your definition of love? And then go right into the good news segment. We got 5 minutes and 33 seconds.
5 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yeah.
On point today, man.
My definition of love is somebody that holds me accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that allows me to hold them accountable. Somebody who I can grow with. Somebody who I can worship God and love God with, pray with. Somebody that's willing to tell me the truth. Like you said, I'm piggybacking off of what you said. Tell me the truth even when it hurts. You know, somebody that's like just got my back down for me. You know, somebody that's willing to sit down and talk it out instead of like, you know, arguing and cursing and hollering, but communicate with me.
Dope. You want to do your good news segment? You want to leave it till next week? We got 4 minutes and 43 seconds.
Let's just talk about this one piece of good
news. All right,
news.
go ahead.
I think it's very imperative and important for everybody to go to Netflix and see When They See Us.
Oh.
It's powerful.
Keep going, Trey.
It is.
We're not going to
interrupt. It's a little blurry, but it's imperative. You know, it just speaks to the injustice that we experience on a day-to-day basis.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I showed my kids today. We're looking at the series, but at the same time, when we had the conversation, you said, I don't know if I'm prepared to see this. I don't know if I can see this. I don't think anybody's going to be mentally prepared to ever keep seeing this. And a lot of people are not willing to watch it because they don't want to see it anymore. You know what the case is? And I told you, I said, just watch it. They want you to know their story. You know,
that's what made me watch it.
They want people to know their story. You know what I'm saying? You're never going to be prepared to see it, but they did it for a reason. And Ava, she's dope. But
she's phenomenal.
You know, they wanted someone to hear their story. That's why I watched it, to see what they went through, because they want people to know. And I know we're going to probably see more of these documentaries. You know, we had the Khalif Broader case a couple of years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
and you know,
I know it puts. No, I'm not. It's your segment.
I have a platform where I have, you know, all walks of life that sit in my chair, and ever since I watched that documentary series, it's just been in my spirit, in my soul. Like I can't get it out of my mental. So I've been telling everybody, white, black, and different, you know, Spanish, you need to watch this, because everybody needs to see. You know, they're so quick to say that we play the race card, but when you see something of that magnitude, then maybe you can you know, identify with where we're coming from. That we really go through this, and this happens on a day-to-day basis. Again.
Yeah. You know what I gotta say about the African American, the minorities? What I have to say about us is that a lot of us are we're doing some great things. You know what I'm saying? Awareness is happening. I think black people are really starting to love who they are. You know what I'm saying? Black people are starting to really come into their selves. Yeah. And we see that. And I'm just going to end there.
Dwayne, did you see it?
Dwayne?
What's interesting about that is, no, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, 1 minute, 45 seconds.
The reason why I didn't watch it is because my story is not the same as theirs, but because I experienced prison, it's like reliving trauma all over again, right? Because of the things that I did experience while I was in prison, right? I never experienced a lot of the things that I heard that the brothers experienced, thank God, but that experience alone is traumatizing in itself.
Absolutely.
Especially as a black man, 20 years old in prison, 5 years to life, going through the things that I went through and the things that I seen and heard and just, so when that story, it takes me back to a place that I'm thankful that God has healed and delivered. So I didn't watch it because I don't want to watch anything that angers me. That's why I didn't watch it. I don't want to watch anything that angers me, disempowers me, weakens me.
Fair.
So
That's
for me,
fair.
I didn't watch it for those reasons, right? What's interesting is that my son watched it, and my son is 9, and it angered him. And I felt like I should have watched it so I know how to engage conversation with him because he watched it, right? But I love his answers and his responses and what he learned from it at 9 years old. So his responses made me comfortable enough not to check it out, even though it's been kind of tempting to watch. But no, I didn't watch because for me now at this point in my life, I don't want to watch anything that angers me, weakens me, disempowers me. So I didn't watch it for that reason.
And we can continue this conversation next week.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you for everyone who joined us to our.
Yeah.
What's the episode is this real quick?
Episode 57.
Episode 57.
Wow.
Thank you for
And
watching.
my 13th episode.
We out. Whitney and Dwayne, conversations with Whitney, Dwayne, and Treasure.
Thank you
We
for
gone.
watching. Thank
Thanks
you
for
for your
watching.
support.
We'll be back.
We'll be back soon. Next week.
Right now.